citizens. The fact that it has been in government for such a period of time is indeed a positive achievement. It is a reflection of the makeup of the party, which really goes to the constitution of the party. When the PNM came together, the great Dr. Eric Williams and his faithful friends and counterparts identified a number of aims and objectives of the organization, all of which are included in the party's constitution. One such objective is the integration of the Caribbean. The PNM came together as part of a movement. One of its major aims and objectives was to unite the Caribbean. It was an objective then, and now 54 years later, ladies and gentlemen, it still remains an objective of the PNM today. The unity of the Caribbean remains one of the principal objectives of the People's National Movement. Individual freedom and fulfillment in the midst of national responsibility. This is the path that the PNM has been charting since 1956. This is the foundation of the liberation that we have been speaking about for over 50 years. Freedom and fulfillment for both the nation and individual. It is the reason why history has already recorded us a party of liberation. This is the reason for the monumental contribution that we have already made to the development of this country. It is the reason why we have endured for over 50 years in the politics of Trinidad and Tobago, surviving all attempts to dislodge and discredit us. And for those who still don't know what Vision 2020 is and what development nation status means, let me tell you. It is a state of substantive economic growth, where resources are wisely and sensitively exploited, where wealth is produced and utilized to give every citizen the opportunity for individual fulfillment, where the people are united and enjoy safety and a sense of belonging, where individual talent flourishes, where our history is a source of instrument and inspiration, where our cultural heritage is preserved and enriched as our unique contribution to humane civilization, where democracy reigns and our people enjoy all their fundamental rights and freedom, where there is love of country and commitment to community, where the family is strong, where poverty is eradicated, where the environment is cherished as a most important natural resource, and where each succeeding generation is handed a legacy of prosperity, security, and stability. That is our mantra. That is where the PNM is taking Trinidad and Tobago. That is our responsibility, and that is Vision 2020. Today, a party's vision. Tomorrow, our country's reality. That is the PNM, and this is why I can stand proudly and say I am a product of the PNM. Great is the PNM, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and it shall and will always prevail.
Hey, hey, get something on, wear something on, get something on, wear something on, get something on, wear something on, get something on, wear something on.
Ladies and gentlemen,
get something on,
one more time.
get something on, wear something on, get something on.
Ladies and gentlemen, the young 18-year-old Nabila Akaloo, the youth voice of the People's National Movement. Let's give her another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Get something on, wear something on, 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 put on something on, wear something on, get something on, wear something on.
And the College of Center City Mall this evening. You are reminded that this evening's meeting is streaming live on the party's website, www.pnm.org.tt. We are live on national radio, and shortly we will be live on national television. PNM family, this evening, we have much to be proud of. Our young speaker this evening, and you know it said that a child will lead them. And this young lady this evening did a remarkable job as a young person in outlining the PNM from her eyes. This evening, I invite you to feel proud as we present to you a video presentation a shortened version of the People's National Movement, historical achievements from 1956 to present and beyond as we move towards Vision 2020, Developed Nation Status. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid. Be proud of the People's National Movement achievements over the years and beyond. A video presentation now towards Vision 2020.
Officers, members of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a very pleasant good evening to all of you. And you will allow me, please, the opportunity to say a very special good evening to the constituents of Chaguanas East. And let me say to them, and remind them as I say to all of you, that it was in the 1950s, there were three political parties: the People's Democratic Party, the Trinidad Labour Party, and the Party of Political Progress Groups. All of them were fused into one called the Democratic Labour Party. And do you know what happened to that Democratic Labour Party? They mashed up that. And they took the pieces of the DLP and they formed the Liberal Party and the Democratic Liberation Party, and they mashed up that. And in 1966, they formed the Workers and Farmers Party. They mashed up that. And in 1976, they formed the United Labour Front. And can you imagine the outcome of that? They mashed up that. And in 1981, they formed the Organization for National Reconstruction. They mashed up that too. 1986, they formed the National Alliance for Reconstruction. That mashed up too. In 1988, the Club 88 met the same fate. They mashed up that. In 1991, they formed the United National Congress. And as we speak, they are in the process of mashing that up too. But I say to you, there are two things that they cannot mash up. They cannot mash up the integrity and the solidarity of the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and they cannot mash up the People's National Movement. And we know very well that they will come to you and they're going to claim that they have united. And they're going to bring something called the United National Congress and join it with the COP, and join it with the MND, and join it with the CAD, and join it with anything else. And they will create what we can call a political Frankenstein. It is evil stitched to evil, stitched to evil, stitched to evil. And they create a greater evil unit, committed only to what their history has taught us, committed only to destruction, degradation, decimation. And all the while, the people of the People's National Movement have remained committed and loyal to our solidly in support of all of our citizens. And those are the values they took to government, you know. Sometimes when they speak, they like you to forget that they were in government. And we have seen how they have operated while in government. They had 6 years and we had a good look at them. And sometimes today they talk holy talk. But all I hear is the voice of hypocrisy. It is the voice of hypocrisy when they talk. Because I remember the scorn that they heaped on CPEP. And I remember when they referred to teachers as criminals. And I remember a journalist asking a question in the performance of his duty was told to go and ask your mother. I remember those things. So when I hear them, I hear the voice of hypocrisy.